What is good, guys? It is Spirit of Paradox here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be continuing Ultimate X-Men issue number 2. And in this issue, Ultimate Wolverine meets the Ultimate X-Men. So if you guys are fans of the Ultimate Universe, this is the channel you want to be on. We cover the original and the new on the channel, and we do other things as well, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Let's begin. The issue begins at JFK International Airport, and here we get introduced to Ultimate Wolverine. I can't believe you just waltzed through the airport security like that, Wolverine. Immigration missing your mutant gene is one thing, but how does a guy with an adamantium skeleton avoid setting off every metal detector in the building? 3 little words, bub. I'm a professional. Look, we respect the fact you like to work alone. Magneto wanted me to let you know that the Brotherhood of Mutants East Coast cell is ready and primed if you need us. For what? Doing my laundry? And then we see these soldiers on top of the building, scoping out Wolverine and this kid. This is a pretty straightforward hit, kid. Find Charles Xavier, infiltrate the little team he's putting together, and then gut the son of a gun like a trout. I don't need a bunch of low-grade amateur terrorists hanging around making life complicated. Fooling Xavier's gonna be tougher than you think, man. I mean, how are you gonna get close enough to kill a guy who can read your thoughts easier than the funny pages? Like I said, short stuff, I'm... What? Something's wrong. And before he could do anything, Wolverine and the kid get gunned down on the spot. Hold your fire, boys. We got him. Wolverine's down, as we see the soldiers go and inspect the child and Wolverine's dead bodies. As we continue into the story, we go to the Ultimate X-Men flying in the jet. We see Ultimate Jean Grey and Ultimate Beast working on it while in flight. And Jean Grey asks, "Do you really need to check that cloaking device while we're doing 300 miles an hour, Henry? There are other ways to impress a girl, you know." Come on, Jean. How often does a guy get to tinker with a billion-dollar piece of hardware like the Blackbird? I've spent my whole life fantasizing about a budget which could keep up with my ideas. Just wait till you see the plans I've got for the training room in the school basement. You boys and your little toys. One of these days I'm going to walk into a room and catch you and Cyclops trading Pokemon figures. But Beast asks a question. What's with the story with you guys anyway? Storm reckons she heard Cyclops sneaking into your room the other night. Well, I guess she needs to get her ears tested, Henry. Poor Scott spent the last year and a half trying to pluck up the courage to ask me out to a movie. And Beast says, "You mean the guy who can lobotomize a sentinel single-handedly fumbles his lines in the presence of a skinny little 19-year-old redhead? Oh, and you're Casanova all of a sudden." As we see them flying the Blackbird near the school, and we could see Ultimate Cyclops tried to shoot Ultimate Iceman. And Jean roasts Beast here and says, "How could a beautiful uptown girl like Storm ever love a man who butters his toast with his feet in the morning? Only if she could do the washing up duty with me instead of that big tractor-loving communist Colossus." Very funny. Isn't there some kind of house rule against psychic eavesdropping on private thoughts? Oh, you don't need to peek inside someone's head to see their tongue hanging out, Henry McCoy. And I've got to say, that is a really ugly picture of Ultimate Jean Grey. Look at that thing. Yeesh. But then, Charles Xavier makes a telepathic call to his X-Men and says, Professor X to all students. Sorry to interrupt any descendant fantasies I'm getting feedback on here, but Cerebro just located another mutant in the New York area. Your presence is required in the school viewing room immediately. As all of the X-Men meet up in the viewing room, Colossus asks, Is it Magneto, Professor? Do you really think he's finally figured out you've set up the rival operation? Unlikely, considering this gentleman was just captured by the authorities, Colossus. Magneto would have leveled half of the city before they managed to bring him down. According to satellite pictures, our friend is being transported via military convoy to Canada at the moment. I want you to intercept this convoy with minimum force and bring him back here for his own safety. Sounds simple enough. Any idea who he is, asked Cyclops. It's hard to tell, I'm afraid. There are so many memory implants in his head, it's impossible to be sure. But I suspect we are dealing with Wolverine here, Cyclops. What? As Cyclops seems shocked to find out this revelation. Tell us you're jerking our chain, Professor, says Jean Grey. 'Cause in this universe, Ultimate Wolverine is considered the deadliest man on Earth. Due to his days in Weapon X, he was sent out to do a lot of assassin jobs, and in this universe he's well known for his reputation. So here the X-Men are pretty scared of Wolverine here. Would somebody mind explaining to us newbies who Wolverine actually is, so we can all pee our pants too, says Storm. An Ultimate Cyclops explains, Wolverine is the most dangerous killer in the world, Storm. The only proof he even exists is a blurred picture during the Gulf War. All we really know about him was that he was a part of some Black Ops unit in the days when the Pentagon exploited mutants as opposed to routinely executing us. Rumor has it he escaped 18 months ago and nobody's seen him since. I guess this means his former masters have finally caught up with him. While Ultimate Professor X says, This is going to be a dangerous operation, Iceman. You've only been with us a couple of weeks, so nobody's going to hold it against you if you prefer to sit this one out. No way, Professor. You guys were there for me when the Sentinels tried to fry my ass back in Times Square, right? It's only right that I'm here for Wolverine. Good answer, Iceman. Let's rock and roll, says Cyclops. In the next page, we continue with the convoy that's taken Ultimate Wolverine. Well, I guess any doubts about the authenticity of that tip-off can be dismissed, Wolverine. There ain't many people on God's green earth that can take 100 bullets in the rump and wake up with nothing worse than a hangover. Wraith. That's right, soldier. Welcome back to Weapon X. Ultimate Wolverine attempts to cut his way out of his cage, but to no avail. Whoa, easy, Tiger. I've seen those claws tear through a side of a tank, but that cage is made of the same semi-indestructible material our doctors lined your bones with. Cutting loose from this outfit once more than any mutant ever managed to do in the past, son. Nobody is that lucky twice in a lifetime. While Wraith is going on his evil monologue, we can see the rookie soldier is basically pissing himself there. But what Wraith is doing is he's reloading his weapon and getting ready to shoot Wolverine while he's in his cage. Wraith shoots Wolverine down while the rookie soldier shouts, Sir, what are you doing? The same thing we used to do every night when there was nothing good on TV. Remember the last we used to have with that healing factor of yours, Wolverine? You could shoot him, stab him, crack his head open with an iron bar. His mutant healing ability is meant that he could always just piece himself back together again. Hell, even Big Jim Grant doused him in gasoline and set him alight one time. And he was still up for Weapon X's Nicaragua operation 2 days later. But it's a shame the same couldn't be said for the little snot we had to scoop up in the plastic body bags at the airport. You dirty son of a! But before Wolverine could finish his sentence, Rafe guns him down again and tells him, "Watch your mouth, Mutie." And Rafe tells his men, "Have as much fun as you like with him, boys. We're wiping his mind clean once we get back to base, so he ain't gonna remember any of our names or faces anyway." And as Rafe's men open fire on Wolverine, he lights one up and says, "Your butt belongs to us, Wolverine. We caught you, we trained you, and we rebuilt you to be the security service #1 killing machine. It's time that you learned that the only way anyone leaves Weapon X is in a body bag, son." But then, one of the drivers of the convoy sees someone standing in the road. And then we find out it's the Ultimate X-Men, fully assembled with the Blackbird in the background. And Scott, leading the team, says, "Blow them away, Storm." And then we see Ultimate Storm using her abilities against the convoy, sending in a giant gush of frozen wind, sending the soldiers and the convoy flying. As the rest of the Ultimate X-Men engage in the fight, Ultimate Cyclops says, "Beast, Colossus, get Wolverine out of the truck. Everyone else, keep these dirtbags occupied. And don't forget for a second that they're all qualified PhDs and in anti-mutant maneuvers." As Ultimate Colossus dispatches the soldiers in the truck, he says, "I hate the way Cyclops keeps ordering everyone around like he's in charge. Did everyone know he's a year younger than us?" As Ultimate Colossus tries to help Wolverine out of his cage, Wolverine tells him, "Grab the commanding officer, you morons. He's the only one who knows the 10-digit code to get me out of this cell." Take it easy, Wolverine. Bending steel bars for tourists is how I used to make pocket money. And Wolverine tells him, "Shame, these ain't steel bars, dog breath." And then we see the Colonel and one of his men running away from the fight. "Colonel, what about the men? Colonel!" As we return to the heroes, Ultimate Beast is trying to find a way to open up the cage. "Hurry up with that lock, Tubby. I'm losing the scent of that cheap cologne Rafe's mistress buys him for Christmas. You know, considering we're the ones breaking you out of this place, I really don't appreciate these comments about my weight, Wolverine." And then we see the cage finally open up, and then we see Wolverine just jets out of there. Well, don't eat so much, Butterball. Hey! And as Ultimate Wolverine is escaping, Jean knows. "Bad news, Cyclops. I've just had a message from Beast asking me to break it to you gently that they've just lost Wolverine." What? And then we see Ultimate Wolverine on a motorcycle getting ready to hunt down Wraith. And as Ultimate Wolverine escapes to settle a score with Wraith, Ultimate Cyclops tells his X-Men, "Don't just stand there catching flies in your mouths. Get after him." And Ultimate Storm says, "Wow, nice bike." And as Wraith is trying to escape, he tells his soldier, "Come on, Lebits, doesn't this thing go any faster?" "Colonel, I go any faster, I'll put the gas pedal through the floor." "Ugh. All I ask is an extra 10%, soldier. Wait, there's something ahead on the road. And then we find out it's Ultimate Wolverine waiting for them. And he says boo. And as the soldier tries to stop the truck, he shouts, "Holy shit!" And then the truck goes off the road and down the mountain. As the truck falls down the mountain, it violently crashes into a tree, sending Rafe and Lebitz flying through the windshield of the car. And as they both descend onto softer ground in the snow, Lebitz has been completely decapitated from the car crash. And as we see Rafe is still alive, he shouts, "Holy Mother of God, you broke his frickin' neck!" And then we see Ultimate Wolverine in the trees, waiting with his claws out, and says, "Lucky Lebitz." And then, as we see Ultimate Wolverine go in for the kill, we see the Ultimate X-Men have arrived to the scene. "Wolverine, no! Don't kill him," says Ultimate Jean Grey. And Ultimate Jean tries to talk him out of it. "I can't imagine what that animal put you through over the years, but murder him out here like this, and all you're going to do is prove that the papers are right about us." And Wolverine tells her, "Babe, do I look like the kind of guy who lies awake at night worrying about the public's perceptions of mutants?" And Jean tells him, "You've had a hard enough day, big man. Don't make me hurt you." "And how do you suppose to do that, gorgeous? Hit me with your high heel? Smack me in the face with your Barbie purse?" Ultimate Jean Grey uses her ability of telekinesis and uses it against Wolverine, sending him flying into a mountain cliff and knocking him out instantly. "Not exactly," says Jean Grey to Wolverine. "Marvel Girl to Cyclops. Get the Blackbird up here and let's get Wolverine back to base before some of the locals call for a 1-800 Sentinel." And then, as we see Ultimate Jean Grey walk past Rafe, she tells him, "And if you even think about thanking me for saving your life, I swear to God, I'll implant my best homemade nightmares in your brain for the rest of your natural existence. Filth." And then she walks away. In the next page, we go to Ultimate Magneto's fortress in the Shadowland. "He's in, but we were bloody lucky this time, Magneto. I mean, what were the chances of those Weapon X tossers crawling out of the woodwork like that? And who the heck gave them the details of our New York connection who was meeting Wolverine at JFK? Oh, who do you think it was, Toad? It was me, you idiot." "What?" The Shadow World's most highly trained assassin rings the doorbell and Charles Xavier isn't supposed to be suspicious? Give him some credit with some intelligence, please. A little sleight of hand, but our dear Charles Xavier actually sought out the man I sent to kill him. This gives us chance to concentrate on more pressing matters. And then we see a hologram of the White House of the United States of America. And this means Ultimate Magneto plans to go against America and the White House. And this is where Ultimate X-Men issue number 2 ends. So that was Ultimate X-Men issue number 2, The Tomorrow People, part 2. And I've got to say, I really did enjoy this issue. This one was mainly about Ultimate Wolverine and how he meets the Ultimate X-Men. It was really about setting up the team, really. And for the most part, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like about this issue, I would say, is the inconsistency in the art style. Because as I mentioned that moment when we looked at Ultimate Jean Grey, the art was a bit off, in my opinion. So Artwork could have been better, but I would say this story is very good and I do recommend it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this issue. Have you read it? Did you like it or not? Make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.